Hey guys, what's going on? Fred Oakman here. I just wanted to let you guys know before the show starts, I'm really sorry. We had some major clipping on Jake's side of things with his mic, and I didn't know it until I imported all the video and audio. So I'm super sorry. Usually our show has decent audio quality. We always kind of struggle a little bit with Jake's side. But the view meters, the level meters were all looking good on my side. So I don't know what happened here. I tried my best to run some compression to bring his voice down and mine level out, but because it's all one audio channel, I couldn't quite get it to where it needed to be. And it's Sunday night, and I've got to get to work in the morning. So I appreciate you guys listening. Hang with us through this weird audio episode, and I promise we will have it on track for the next episode. Hopefully you listened because it was a really good episode, and we had some really interesting conversations. If you don't, we understand. This kind of thing would stress me out as a listener as well. It would just drive me crazy. But maybe it won't bother you so much. It's still Jake and I just having a video game conversation. His mic is a little screwed up. Mine might be a little low. I don't know what happened. I really don't. So that's on me. And we'll get it corrected next episode. But enjoy the show, and we'll be back next week. All right, good day to you. My name is Fred Oakman, and as always with me today is Mr. Jake Peters. We are PS This Is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast. This is episode 231. This is a show where we share our feelings about the current state of PlayStation. But before we get on the show, I want to invite you all to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, youtube.com/PS This Is Awesome. Visit us on Twitter at PS This Is Awesome. And if you want to make fun of a trophy list on the PlayStation Network, you can find me at anchorless_81 and Mr. Jake Peters at jakesaw01. As always, you can write the show at psthisisawesome@gmail.com. Most importantly, don't forget to share the show with your friends. Be sure to leave comments, rate the podcast as you see fit. And as a reminder, this is a video podcast as well. So you can watch the show, if you prefer, over to YouTube channel. Make sure you are checking that out so you can look at our pretty faces. And for new and or long-time listeners, we now have a Patreon, which means you can support our show for $1 a month at a level called the one and only $1 Club. Head over to patreon.com/PS This Is Awesome to become a $1 patron. Get a free die-cut vinyl sticker and a shout-out on the show. Usually the Patreon link is in the description of each of our podcasts. If you're not sure how to get there and you can't remember, just go to our YouTube channel, and it is listed on every podcast video from the last month forward. So just check that out. With all that out of the way, Jake, how are you doing this beautiful Sunday afternoon, evening today?
Doing good. Feeling a little bit sun-soaked, but other than that, pretty good. I've been outside most of the day, so enjoying it.
Yeah, very well. That's so funny. I just saw a message from a person. We talked about Chris last episode, and he just sent a funny Facebook message to me in reference to our dick pic talk last week, and I was actually scared to open the message. Anyways, yeah, good, man. Happy to hear I'm doing all right. We were at a wedding last night at the Peak and Peak Resort, which is in New York, and just New York State, not very far from where we're at. But, man, I'll tell you what, I've never been there, and I know that probably sounds sacrilegious to you, someone who likes to snowboard and stuff. But I have no reason to be there. They offer nothing that I am interested in. But there was a wedding there, and then we stayed the night, so things got kind of wild. Mr. Kuhn was there. That was fun. And, yeah, it was cool, man. But needless to say, we got home this morning, and I was just exhausted. And now I'm, doing the 7-day wait. Not that anyone told me they had COVID, but I'm just waiting to see if I get sick. You know what I mean? 'Cause that's what everybody does when they go to a big attended thing. You're just well, in the back of your head, you're like, well, fuck, maybe I got it. I don't know. I feel fine. But when I got home, I meant to take a half-hour nap. I laid down on the couch around 4:30, and I woke up at 6. And I was like, oh, Jesus, I needed that. So it was a long night. But outside of that, man, everything's good for the most part, and got the show notes done, and I did start watching the Mass Effect Paragon Lost TV show, or the movie, and I sent you a picture of it, and for proof of life, let me just switch my... So when we do the podcast, I always have my video flipped, but I'll hold it up so when it's recording, people can see. This was $5. I talked about it on a show before, and this takes place apparently $5 at tops, brand new. Had all the inserts and everything with it, and apparently it takes place after Mass Effect 2 and before Mass Effect 3. And Jake, we don't have to get into it. But it is interesting because I started it, and not speaking to the quality of the show, I was just tired Friday night, and I got about 40 minutes into it, and I was like, wow, this is pretty dope, actually. But my attention span was like waning, and I just couldn't focus on the story and stuff. I kept looking at my phone. I was kind of getting tired, and I was like, I can't sit and watch this right now. But
Did you finish Mass Effect 2?
Yeah, I beat it. Did you?
No, I'm on the basically getting ready to start the suicide mission.
Okay, yeah. So I'll give you a quick rundown of what this is about on the show because it's podcast related and you were kind of asking. So it's interesting, and I don't really understand it because it doesn't pick up where my game left off, but it picks up at a situation. So it says Mass Effect Paragon Lost, and this is for this was actually directed by and made by the people who did the Clone Wars, I think. Let me see here. So it says it's a prequel to the best-selling Mass Effect 3. Follows the early career of Alliance Marine James Vega, played by Freddie Prinze Jr., as he, leads an elite special forces squad into battle against a mysterious alien threat known as the Collectors, which sounds like the Mass Effect 2 storyline a little bit. And then it says, stationed at a colony in a remote star system, Vega and his troops must protect the colonists from the alien invaders bent on abducting humans for unknown purposes. Outmanned and outgunned, Vega must rally his squad to defend the colony at all costs, even if it means making the ultimate sacrifice. So I'm confused about how this plays into it, because all of Mass Effect 2, spoiler, is about you defeating the Collectors because they're abducting humans. This says this takes place, it's a prequel to the best-selling Mass Effect 3. So are they saying this takes place instead of the Mass Effect 2 game? I don't know. Or is part 3 do the Collectors fucking come back? Do you know that, Jake, if they do?
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Anyways, it looks cool. The voice acting's great. I'm going to finish it. It was weird. And in the show, they're talking about another Mass Effect spoiler. If you've played the first one, they're talking about how Shepard's dead. So maybe this is happening in congruency with like Mass Effect 2. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, it was kind of interesting so far, so I'm going to finish it. That out of the way, Jake, we can talk about games we're playing. Speaking of which, I beat Mass Effect 2, yes, and I've got something to talk about it. And I did have somebody die. I won't tell you who now. We'll talk about it on the spoiler cast. And I did download Crash 4. One thing that happened when I downloaded Crash 4 is that I didn't have enough room on my PlayStation 5 to download it. And I'm like, how's that fucking possible? All my PS4 games are saved to external hard drive. So then I realized that like all of my trophy videos were still being saved. So, and it was set to like 15 seconds anytime I got any trophy. So I had to go through and clear all those out. And then I deleted Death's Door. And I deleted a couple other games. I don't know which ones they were. They were PS5 games I had on my PlayStation. But I freed up Spider-Man Miles Morales, got rid of that. I was going to leave it on there because it was so fucking good, but I've never revisited it. So I can always download it again. But I freed up some room, downloaded Crash 4. It took a while. And I opened it up just to see what it was all about. And that's as far as I made it. So speaking of Crash 4, that is the PlayStation Plus game that Jake and I have both chosen to play for the month of July. We are going to talk about our experience with it at the end of this month. So Crash 4 is a straight-up PS Plus downloadable title right now for the month of July. If you want to join us on that, get it, and then join the conversation at the end of the month with us. Jake, what are you playing?
Pretty much just Mass Effect. I haven't had a whole lot of time to play games this week, so I'm still kind of catching up on that. But part of the reason why I haven't beat the game yet, because I was like, oh, I should just finish some of these side quests that I didn't do before I do the final mission. And I did what the fuck is it called? I can't remember. Let me see here. Mass Effect 2. Let me see. Sorry, I'm looking at something right now. Oh. So I decided to do so when you start the game, you get a couple of missions just right off the bat.
Yeah, right.
It tells you to like go find a squad, like recruit these people, and then it's like, oh, here's these other couple of missions.
Yeah. And
one of them is the Project Firewalker missions and the Project Overlord missions. And I was like, oh, I have these. I didn't do them from the beginning. I should just do them. So I go to do the Project Overlord mission, and it's a fucking vehicle mission.
Yeah.
Where you're flying around this fucking hover thing.
Yeah, that was my first... Dude, that was my first experience with Mass Effect 2, was doing the firewall.
Yeah,
and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is just like as bad as the Mako, but better.
So, I mean, we won't get really into it, but I did. So here's what I'll say. I was pissed off because I spent like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then I found out that these are DLC missions. They're not even like main story missions.
Okay.
So I was like, but I will say, because it's not related to Mass Effect 2's main story arc, I'll just say this.
Yeah.
That the Project Overlord mission, if they just removed all of the fucking hovercraft shit, that mission is actually fucking dope. It's like a horror mission where you're like, there's the guy that was like melded with the fucking Geth network.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
And he's like taking shit over and stuff, really cool. And like killed all the people at the science lab that did it and everything. So that mission was actually fucking awesome. But, and I've talked ad nauseum on this show from the Mass Effect 1 spoiler cast even before that about how much I hated the Mako in Mass Effect 1. And this was basically they were just like, you know what? We're not gonna have the Mako, but we feel like we need to have some kind of a vehicle. So we're gonna have this DLC mission where you play this. It's a Mako, but instead of it being on wheels, it's a hovercraft, and it basically does the same shit the Mako does. It's got a gun, it can jump, it can boost, whatever. And there's all this like platforming that you have to do with it, where you're like jumping across lava rocks and shit, and it's just like, what is this? Yeah. But anyway. So that's what got me off track. Otherwise, I'd probably be done by now. Yeah. But I will be done with that probably tomorrow. I don't know. But yeah, so we'll do the spoiler cast here probably within the next week or two.
And then we'll put down Mass Effect for a little bit, maybe till the fall, and then we'll play. Yeah,
I was thinking maybe like the end of the year we'd play Mass Effect 3.
That works. I like that we're doing
just kind of split the 3 out through just like across the whole year, essentially. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's where I'm at. Nothing special.
Very good. All right, so we're not going to do this next piece, but we're going to talk about the news, Jake. So those who tune into the show know that Jake and I are just PlayStation geniuses, and we take these quizzes.
You don't want to talk about
Crash?
The PS Plus game?
Is that there? No, we already did.
No,
that.
Nickelodeon All Stars. We didn't talk about it.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it last episode.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we were both a little tipsy. Man. And I got a message from LJ who said that he needs more slightly drunk Fred on the show. So, unfortunately, you're not going to get that today because there was slightly drunk Fred at the wedding. So, today is not the day for that. But yeah, we already talked about that. So, that was the last episode we talked about.
That's how much I care about that game, by the way.
Fair enough. So anyway, yeah, we're going to do a PlayStation quiz on the Push Square website. Jake and I do these every chance we get. We have yet to get a 100%. I'm not trying to jinx us, but they always trick us with some sort of weird ass thing. God, I don't even know this one. All right, so question 1 of 15. Which PlayStation controller face button shape is traditionally, I got to think about it, is colored green? I want to say it's the square button.
That's wrong.
It's triangle.
Square is red.
It's triangle.
It's triangle.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, X is blue.
As soon as you shot me down, I knew it was triangle.
Yeah, triangle is green. Square and X in circle.
One's
one
purplish and one's pinkish or something.
One's red and one's
orange, pinky,
like purple,
yeah, something weird color. All right, so I'm gonna pick triangle, and we are correct. 1 for 1, Jake. Oh God, wow, we're screwed. Who is this character from King of Fighters? It's like a dude with like fire on his pants, like flame pants drawings, and then he's got like a long I like these descriptions. I wish I could compile all my descriptions of people on these quizzes. He's got long blonde hair. He's got some gauntlets on his arms. He's standing like a kung fu fighter.
He looks like if Ken from Street Fighter was somehow like douchier.
yeah. This is like his nephew or something. All right, so his name is either Andy Bogard, Ryo Sakazaki, Billy Kane, or Rock Howard. I bet you anything it's Andy Bogard. But Billy Kane sounds like a fighter, dude. Billy Kane.
I would go with Andy Bogard because that your instinct is probably correct.
Because he looks, yeah.
I want his name to be Rock Howard because that's like such a fucking porn star name, but it's not that. I know that, and it's not Ryo Sakazaki or whatever.
No, because this guy clearly looks to be. To me, he looks like he's the American fighter in this game. So
right.
I don't think Ryo Sakazaki's his name. So I'm gonna go Andy Bogard because that's the douchiest name of them all. Billy Kane's pretty douchey, but Billy Kane screams like Karate Kid to me, like bad guy Karate Kid. But we'll go Andy Bogard. Got it. Yes.
Nice.
Got him. Andy Bogard. Phew, we got past that one. All right, question 3 of 15. We're 2 for 2. In PS1 RPG Breath of Fire 4, who is Fu Lu? I've played this game.
I have not, so you're going to have to guess.
A mystic who starts a war between... It's a mercenary who lost all of his memories, I believe. So the answers are a mercenary who lost all of his memories, the reawakened founder of an empire, a mystic who starts a war between rival nations, or the world's most famous swordsman. Dude, Fu Lu sounds like the most famous swordsman in the world, but I believe the main character's name is... But then usually you name your own character. I want to say it's the person who lost their memories because I believe it's been so long since I've played this game. I believe that is the crux of the entire thing. I'm probably wrong. If it's not that, it's. I thought Fu Lu was the dragon. All right, whatever. We're gonna go mercenary. Wrong. The reawakened founder of an empire. So stupid. All right, guys, we're 2 for 3. In Red Dead Redemption 2. Who gives Arthur the first tutorial on how to hunt? Is it Charles, Hosea, Dutch, or Pearson?
Oh, fuck if I know, man.
Well,
there's so many characters in that game. I don't remember which. I mean,
Dutch is like the leader of the gang.
Pearson's like the food guy. He like
it's not
the cook guy, right?
Yeah, so maybe it is Pearson.
And Dutch is obviously the gang leader. He's not the guy that does it. I don't remember who. I remember the names Charles and Hosea, but I don't remember what characters they were.
Well, they were part of the gang as well. But I bet the food guy Pearson, right? That would make sense. The butcher would be the hunter.
Yeah, maybe, but you would think maybe the hunter is the guy that's collecting the pelts.
Dude, right now someone's just like, it's fucking Charles, assholes. Like, someone's freaking out.
It could be.
Dude, what do you want to pick? Hosea might be right, though, too. Hosea is the old guy. He's the old guy in the gang. It's probably Hosea. He's like the grandpa.
Dude, I honestly do not remember.
I'm going Hosea. It's probably Pearson. It's Charles. We would have been wrong no matter what we fucking picked. God damn. All right, so we're 2 for 4 still. Which of these movies spawned a PlayStation 2 game? Was it Braveheart, Mad Max, Meet the Parents, or Scarface? It's Scarface, I think.
Yeah.
Correct. All right, back on track. 3 for 5. How many full expansions did Dragon Age Inquisition receive? It didn't get any expansions. 1, 2, or 3. I don't think it got any.
I think it did, but I don't remember how many.
If it did, it was only 1, dude.
I mean, I got to a point in that game where I was just done with it and quit playing it. So I didn't follow it after that.
Yeah,
so
same with me.
I don't know.
We both beat this game, but we didn't stick with it. I think it didn't get any expansions is like the thing that makes you say, oh yeah, if they wouldn't have put that in there if that wasn't true. They would have just...
I'm almost positive it did, but I do not remember.
Why wouldn't they put 0 in there? Why'd they have to write it out?
That's a good question.
I'm going to guess that their query database can't keep track of it any other way. So it's not keeping track. I'm going to say 2. Because there was one with the bald guy. There was one.
That's a good question.
There was
I have no idea what you're saying.
Dude, I know there was one with the bald wizard elf guy. All right. I'm going to go 1. 3. Fuck. We would have been wrong. Dude, we're so bad. 7.
We're really bad at this game.
Question 7. What kind of game?
I don't know why anybody would want to listen to our opinion about PlayStation. We clearly don't fucking know anything about it.
We don't know anything about these games. Jesus. What game? What kind of game is The Witness? A visual novel? No. Point and click? No.
Open world puzzler.
Yeah, it's an open world puzzler. See, we know some shit. All right, what average...
That game is fucking hard.
Dude, this game was really good, but underrated. What average Metacritic score does Mad Max have on PS4? 69, 74, 82, or 78? I bet you it's 82. It was a good game. Did you play this game?
Yeah, but I don't remember like it being critically acclaimed though.
I think the critics liked it, but I don't think like it sold many copies. It's definitely 82 or 78.
You sure?
My opinion, yeah. I loved this game.
I mean, it's not your opinion. It's fucking what.
Dude, we're technically critics. We get paid through Patreon to have a podcast about video games. We talk shit on them. So
yeah, I don't think that we're on Metacritic though.
That's true. Well, what do you want to go for here? This game was awesome.
I really, really hate these.
They're
these
cheap
Metacritic
shots.
Questions.
Yeah.
Because it's like this to me. This is just questions they throw in there just to make you get.
So they can have 15 questions on their quiz. Yeah, I'm not going 80. This is 82, dude.
Okay.
69, dude.
Wow,
I wouldn't.
That's low. I wouldn't. I mean, everybody that I've heard that's played it has really liked it. So I really don't know what. That seems kind of low to me.
Jake, this one's for you. Bring us back, buddy. In what part of the world is Resident Evil 5 set? Is it West Africa, Eastern Europe, South America, or Southeast Asia?
It's West Africa.
Got it. Boom. Thank you.
And I know a lot of people don't like the direction that the Capcom took with Resident Evil 5, but I actually really liked that game. Mm-hmm. So they had a really cool co-op mode in it, which was neat.
This is a tough one. I want to say it's Guilty Gear, but the question is, which fighting game series uses the phrase, the wheel of fate is turning before every fight? It's not Mortal Kombat.
Not Mortal Kombat.
Is it BlazBlue, Naruto, Ninja Storm, Mortal Kombat, or Guilty Gear? It might be BlazBlue. The wheel of fate is turning. I can hear it now. I love shit like
I don't know why it would be Naruto. It seems
I feel like I've heard this in a game. I've never played BlazBlue, and I have played Guilty Gear. I bet you it's Guilty Gear, but you do what you want to do.
Let's go with BlazBlue.
All right.
It's either BlazBlue or Guilty Gear, but
man, you're such a better guesser than me.
Okay, nice.
I hate it. In the Jack and Daxter series, what fictional substance is often key to the story. Dual Energy, Galaxy Juju, Dark Eco, or Norm Fuel. Jesus Christ. This is a Naughty Dog game. I honestly...
I did not play a single Jak and Daxter game, which is probably going to earn me some ire from, PlayStation fans.
I had the collection.
I was never really drawn to the characters, so... Especially after playing Ratchet and Clank.
I think it's Dark...
I was like, what is this? Some fucking bullshit Ratchet and Clank?
I'm pretty sure it's Dark Eco.
Hit it.
Got it.
Nice.
I thought so. I had played them, but it's been a while. Hey, what's the name of the main character in PlayStation 3 title Starhawk? Is it Marcus Talon, Damian Keeper, Gideon Marsh, or Emmett Graves? Dude.
It's Emmett Graves.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I don't know how I remembered that. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's it. What PlayStation system did Gravity Rush first release on? PS4, PSP, PS3, or Vita?
Vita.
Correct. Good job, Jake. We're getting better. What was the Pro Evolution Soccer, or PES series, renamed to in 2021? It was eFootball, I believe.
Yep.
All right. Good job. And then, which of these anime properties hasn't been adapted into a Dynasty Warrior style game by developer Omega Force? Has not. Gundam, Dragon Ball Z, Berserk, or One Piece?
I don't remember there being a Dragon Ball Muso.
I think you're right.
But I also don't remember there being a Berserk one either. Gundam, for sure, they have one.
One Piece, there's definitely one.
I think they have one for One Piece as well. So, Dragon Ball has always had, like, its own games, but, like, fucking everything has been done by Omega Force, so I'm not really sure.
I would imagine it would cost way more to put out a Dragon Ball game than a Berserk game.
Yeah.
So, based on the price of admission for a studio to get a title to mess with it, probably Berserk is or Dragon Ball is probably the correct answer. But
yeah,
you want to go with it?
Yep.
Good job. Nailed it. 11 of 15. We should get a job push score. We only missed 4, so we redeemed ourselves. So retract your statement about people shouldn't listen to us, Jake. Do it. Take it back. Take it back. All right. Hey.
I guess. If you eliminate all the bullshit questions and questions about like third-party games that have nothing to do with PlayStation history, then sure.
There you go.
We're probably pretty good.
Yeah. All right, well, let's jump to the first news point of the day, Jake. This came off of Push Square. So, The Last of Us PS5 remake. We were saying, like, I'm not paying $70 for a remaster. We had Jeff wrote in about it. People have been sharing their opinions about it. An animator who is now working for Sony, Ben, but was on the project for The Last of Us Part 1, the remake, has pretty much stated, in quotes, actually, it's the most meticulously built and crafted project that I have ever seen or been a part of in my entire career. The highest level of care and attention to detail possible. And this guy has also worked on God of War, Injustice 2, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. So this guy's been around, this animator. And what's interesting is while I don't even question that, because I know Naughty Dog's work ethic, there's no way they were just like, okay, let's just fucking put this out and make it a cash grab. I think that when I say that it's a cash grab, is that my brain is like, okay, great, you put more work into a game, but like, you wouldn't do it if you weren't fucking certain it was a lock and it was going to make money. Like,
yeah, I think what bothers me about it is that, like, I just don't think, I mean, I don't want to pay $70 for it, but I do want to play it just to kind of get a feel for, like, how much better if it looks that much better. Because here's the thing, is that, like, I can believe that Naughty Dog went through all the trouble of, like, tearing this thing down and rebuilding it in a true remake fashion, and that it was this big overtaking and this huge project. But to me, it's like, if you've got the remake and it looks a little better than the original, but it's not like wowing me or blowing me away, and like the experience is almost identical, then like haven't you almost kind of wasted your time?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like to me it's kind of like, I mean, to me it's kind of like, you know, let's say I mow my yard in you know, in rows, right? And I look at it and I'm like, it's a little bit crooked. And I'm driving by and I'm like, it's a little bit crooked. It's a little bit crooked. So I go through the whole effort of fucking remowing my entire yard.
Get the line straight.
To make sure that it's straight. But most people that drive by can't even fucking tell the difference.
Yeah.
But I spent all that gas and time and money and everything doing this. So, you know, you can imagine why if Naughty Dog and Sony went through all this effort to completely rebuild this game from the ground up, of course they're going to want to charge $70 for it. They put all this time and effort and money into it.
It's asinine to expect us to pay $70 for it.
But if the experience is not that much better, then was it worth it? And that's my problem with it. Like, why? Like, who cares?
Right.
Why did you spend all this money if it wasn't worth it? If in my opinion, if I'm paying $70, I should boot up The Last of Us remake, and I should be fucking wowed by it.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't just be like...
We haven't seen any gameplay yet, to be fair. None.
Yeah. But I shouldn't be just... It shouldn't just be like... I shouldn't be able to play the game like I've played it 100 times before. Like Uncharted. Like, I'm just going through the paces. Mm-hmm. Now, can they make some quality... Maybe there's a bunch of gameplay improvements, quality of life improvements, things like that make the game better. And maybe I'd have to play them. But to me, it's like, as a seasoned PlayStation fan, if I have to play the original and the remake back to back to be able to tell the difference, it was a waste of time.
Yeah.
For me personally. Not as a whole. I'm not saying they're not going to make money. I'm not saying it was like globally a bad idea. But that's just the way that I personally feel about it.
Yeah. I really think that this game is going to sell a lot. And I think they're going to definitely see maybe not a full amazing profit, but they're going to get their money back out of it. But the question still stands, was this the best use of Naughty Dog's time to do this? And I personally don't think it was. And
that's the big thing, right?
Yeah.
Opportunity cost was too high.
Yeah. It's like, fantastic that you did this thing. Fantastic. I'm glad, you know. That's like Taylor Swift re-recording her album just so she can re-own the songs, which is more of a fucking baller move than a studio who already owns the game remaking the game, but just recording it slightly differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. It's really...
You heard about Taylor
really
Swift
strange.
Doing that, right?
Yeah, I told you about it.
Oh, I didn't know that you did.
On the podcast. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm going to try to reserve any more judgment until we see this game fully in action and I see really what we're getting. Because all we've seen is trailers and side by side screenshots on various outlets. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it is something insane. But it's just one of those things where it's Sony's just got to fucking put it out there. Let me see it.
Yeah.
Let me see what it really is. I want to see a gameplay trailer. I want to see them remake the E3 gameplay trailer that, where Bruce Straley fucking dropped the controller on the stage. I want to see them redo that, but in the remake. And then so I can watch them side by side and see oh, okay, this is... But the thing is that I'm sure some of it is they improved the feel of the controls and everything like that, which you're not going to be able to get without playing it. And there's probably some stuff like that.
They probably added VR all of... It's for VR too. Last of Us Part 1 remake is all VR
be.
too.
I mean, maybe they added remember Last of Us Part 2 had all of those there was that big thing where they had all of those accessibility options.
Yeah, I'm sure they're adding.
Maybe they added all of that shit in.
I'm sure they are.
Like, so I'm sure that there's a lot there. I just don't know if it's worth it.
All right, well, dude, let's get on this next topic because this is interesting. Kojima Productions, where Hideo Kojima, his studio, he's known for the Metal Gear games, Death Stranding. He's working on a new game for Microsoft. He's a very renowned director. And so I don't know if you guys know, but Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but was apparently killed recently, shot dead at a rally with one of those homemade guns that you can like 3D print, I think, and stuff. So news hit of this, and what's interesting, there were television stations, and it says national television stations in the article, with pictures of Hideo Kojima being falsely attributed to the killer, which is fucking nuts. And so Kojima Productions now has come out, and they're speaking out against the spread of quote-unquote fake news, and have pretty much implied that they may take legal action. So their actual tweet says, Kojima Productions strongly condemns the spread of fake news and rumors that convey false information. We do not tolerate such libel and will consider taking legal action in some cases. And Push Square notably puts in their article on this story about the irony that exists because Metal Gear Solid 2 was all about misinformation in the digital age, and arguably maybe one of Kojima's best games, and now he's a victim of it himself, which is so fucking weird. Such a strange thing, right? I don't even know what to say about it.
I have no clue how somebody makes this mistake. They almost have to have done it on purpose. Like, how are you like, oh yeah, I've got this picture here of a Japanese man being arrested for shooting the prime minister, and then in this other tab I've got a picture of fucking Hideo Kojima. I'm gonna accidentally copy the Hideo Kojima one into my fucking article about gun violence in Japan. It's like, come on.
Welcome to the PS This Is Awesome Patreon page. For those of you that don't know, my name is Fred Oakman.
And I'm Jake Peters.
And we're a PlayStation podcast currently in our 10th year. Our first episode aired in July of 2012, where we discussed and speculated on the arrival of the PS4. Over the years, we've used this podcast to take a break from adulting, share our love of video games, and in particular, PlayStation.
The audio podcast is available on all major streaming services, and we have recently made the leap to uploading video content and video podcasting to our YouTube channel, as well as the very occasional Twitter post or live stream. Over the years, we have covered everything from PS3 to PS Vita, through the launches of PS4, PSVR, and now PS5. As our audience has grown over the years, we have decided to start this Patreon with the hopes of creating a medium in which we can give you the opportunity to help support our show.
And as a test bed, we're starting with a single tier. It's called the one and only $1 Club. So with your support at the $1 level, we're going to mail you a premium vinyl cut sticker and give you a shout out on the podcast. But at this time, unfortunately, we can only ship to the US and Canada. But this is subject to change depending on your interest.
So whether you're new to the show or you're a frequent flyer, we are forever thankful for your support and hope you can find it in your little gaming heart to join us in the one and only $1 Club. Until next time, like PlayStation, podcasting, and Patreon,
P.S. This is awesome. So, I guess there is a French politician. It says here on GamerBraves.com, they have an article up about this. It says that what's his name, Damien Raoult or something, replied in a tweet accusing the extreme left of killing the former Japanese prime minister, attaching photos of Kojima. And then the tweet has since been deleted. So I don't know if he spread the news, this guy from France, or if it was actually on an actual news site. Maybe a news site picked up this guy's tweet and like retweeted it. And it's like 3 pictures of Kojima. God, it's so fucking messed up and weird. And people are like tweeting, I can't believe a French politician tweeted that Hideo Kojima assassinated the Prime Minister of Japan, and news channels are actually running with it. Holy shit. So this guy must have posted this tweet, and then news channels picked this up and just started spreading it like this is the dude that killed him. And there's like a shot of like a television screen with Hideo Kojima with like this ticker on the bottom in another language that probably says man responsible for, and it's fucking Kojima. Like, it's so fucking messed up, dude. I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah, this I just saw images of the original tweet. It's just like pictures of Kojima,
which there's billions of them on the internet.
Tweeted by the fucking French dude.
And then news stations picked up on it and put it on broadcast.
Yeah, there's like news broadcasts
saying that Kojima killed this guy.
With these images of Kojima talking about this assassination.
Dude, we are in a fucked up world, man.
Dude, this is the problem. Like, I mean, I don't want to get into the politics or anything like that, but this is the problem with modern media. Like, I don't know if you remember, but CNN got into trouble with this recently, where they were just like, they just saw some shit on the internet and they wanted to be first, so they fucking shat it out on live TV, and it turned out to be completely false.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, like, what happened to proper investigative journalism? Mm-hmm. People are just like, it's like retweet culture. Why is it that our news sources are literally retweeting shit that, like, without vetting it?
There's a code of ethics for journalists, and you know, I was a communication major, and I had a couple journalism classes, and for sure there's a code of ethics that you should be following, and you should be able to cite your sources, know where the information's coming from, all that kind of shit before you put it out there publicly. And man, that's just shit. It has now become a race, like Jake said, to be first, to break a news story. You know, even as stupid as it sounds, people race to comment on someone's fucking tweet. Like, first. Like, what the fuck? Who fucking cares? Like, this world is so fucking petty, dude. I'm so sick of it.
Seriously, what do you have to do in your life that is important to you?
Yeah. First, got it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to judge people, but I kind of do a little bit.
Yeah. All right, let's move forward, man. That's a fucked up news story. We wish Kojima the best, obviously. Unless it turns out that... No, I'm just kidding. I'm not even going to say it, because there's no way there's no fucking way it's possible.
If he did kill someone, then fucking great, but he didn't, so...
Yeah. All right. God of War Ragnarok got a release date. On the heels of all the stupid blowback for Sony not releasing a release date for the game, a teaser trailer showing Kratos and Atreus is in a CGI trailer. They're back at it. It came out of nowhere. The release date for God of War Ragnarok is 11/9/2022. The release date trailer, last we checked, had well over 4 million views via their various forms of social media. It's being retweeted, so some would even go as far as saying this release date trailer was trending. So maybe that was the plan, was to tease that they were going to announce the date, not fucking do it, let the tension build a little bit, and then fucking pop it out there so everyone's going nuts about it. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I don't think that Sony's PR and marketing department is that intelligent, but I think that this is not really a surprise, and it kind of shows you that the people that were speaking out are really the minority, because you would think that, like, those people would be, I don't know. doing some like claiming some fucking victory over the fact that they forced Sony to release this date or whatever by, you know, throwing their dick pics on the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is cool. I mean, in my opinion, it almost has to be a lock. It's really fucking close. So I don't think the game's gone gold yet. I assume it hasn't, but so I guess it's technically possible that it could be pushed, but I'd almost be shocked if it was at this point. I mean, it's just about the middle of July, and this is, I guess it's 4 months away. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty close. They could still push it, but I would think that they're pretty confident. I would think anyway.
Very cool, man. All right, I agree with you. I'm excited about it. I can't fucking wait to dip my toes into this game. The trailer's really cool. It's like a really big wolf that shows up. I don't know if you've seen the CG trailer, but it's cool, dude. And Atreus' voice, that's his name, right? Atreus?
I think it's Atreus.
Atreus, yeah, right. Sorry, yeah. I haven't played the game in a while. It is Atreus. Thank you, Jake. Thanks for making me not sound like an idiot by correcting me because I asked. Atreus' voice is still played by the same voice actor, but the kid's hit puberty, so now he sounds different as Atreus should sound. But it's a little jarring at first, but I guess it's fine. There's no big blowback on it. You hear him in the trailer here. But
dude, it's so weird whenever child actors
get old,
hit fucking puberty. Mm-hmm. Sarah and I have been going through Stranger Things because we've been watching the newest season, and like when you watch them all back to back, like binge the whole thing, it's jarring how much like the characters change when they fucking go through puberty.
I've only seen the first
bizarre.
season.
I mean, it's totally natural. Like there's nothing wrong with that, but like they almost have to build the story around it and say like, oh, there was a year between season 4 and 5 or 3 and 4, because obviously these characters have basically began adulthood in that period of time.
Right, it's weird.
It's really strange, but it's cool. I mean, I think it's kind of cool when shows and games and media and stuff, they kind of let their guard down a little bit and they kind of let that just be part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to find another actor to like make them stay young.
Because that's way more jarring when you do that.
Yeah. Or like, you know, like way back in the Renaissance days when they would like cut little kids' balls off so they had fucking high voices forever, you know?
Sure.
I'm not saying that's what they're doing nowadays, but
yeah, that's went down a dark
it's
path.
just like that whole idea of like trying to keep that character, like just let the actor grow up and just kind of build that into your story. Why not?
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy about this Atreus thing. I'm glad they kept him. The new Mass Effect game secured a senior narrative director in Mary DeMarle. DeMarle probably. I'm just free off the top like Harry Mack, just going. Who is well known for her work with Deus Ex: Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, as well as Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. So this is good because I think the guy who was involved in the original Mass Effect games is not returning. So to get somebody in the saddle that has some experience with a Galaxy game already, and then somewhat of a futuristic kind of game like Deus Ex, it could be kind of cool. Might not be the worst pick.
Now, I will say that none of the games that you listed are these like sprawling branching narratives that require you know a delicate kind of dance of communication. But I will say that I don't have as much information on the narrative aspect of the Deus Ex games, but I'll continue to sing the praises of the narrative aspect of Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, the narrative in that game is fucking amazing. Yeah. So in the characters in that game, the way that the characters were written, I don't want to say she because I don't know how much she did and how much were her, you know, her coworkers, but the characters in Guardians of the Galaxy are so fucking good. So if the new Mass Effect game has the level of characterization that she was able to bring to Guardians of the Galaxy, I mean, that to me speaks of good things to come.
Yeah, I would agree. Even though I haven't played that game, I did play the Deus Ex games. They were fine narratively. They didn't like crazy, like you said, like pop out. I'm like, wow, that game's amazing. But they are older games, so it seems like Mary has probably been cutting her teeth long enough to know what the fuck she's doing. So I'm excited to see what she does with this. The GTA remasters and the Red Dead Redemption remaster were shelved by Rockstar. They're not doing them anymore. At least they're on the back burner. Maybe never to return. But they are now in full swing working on Grand Theft Auto 6. So that's just a news point. Just a little FYI for the listeners. And
I'll be curious.
Yeah.
I wonder how long that game's been in development. If they're just now starting, the full team working on it, I bet this game is every bit of 3 years away.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm excited to see if they use Unreal Engine, man. Because that Matrix demo was ridiculous with the cars and
UE5.
Yeah.
It would be awesome. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't if it's got all that technology that allows them to dynamically build worlds. I mean, that's cool.
Well, Rockstar did come out and admit that they recognize that they have to actually exceed expectations for the next one. So they're going to be going all in. And speaking of the Matrix Awakens Unreal Engine demo, that actually just left the PlayStation Store, and it was, of course, free to download proof of life for the latest Unreal Engine. And when I played it, and you played it, Jake, we actually talked about it in one of our episodes, and it was actually pretty impressive, I thought. So, anywho.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
This next game that I've never heard anything about prior, but it looks really, really interesting. I want to bring it up on the show. It's called Ad Infinitum. And apparently it is a World War I game, but it's not exactly what you would think. It's a horror game, which any World War I game inherently probably should be called. But it is interesting because the trailer kind of shows the guy running through a trench, and then the explosions and stuff, and then all of a sudden, like, he's running through a door and there's like a demon chasing him, and he turns around and closes the demon out, and then he's like in like this really nice looking house. So I think it's all about like the stress of war and the psychological effects it has on a World War I soldier, and I think they're drawing congruencies or drawing parallels or whatever with just the horrors of war with actual horror, which is a really fucking interesting idea for a game, like a psychological horror game, to be set in the middle of a war or battlefield. Like, it's pretty wild, actually. It looked interesting. The trailer's up on the Push Square site. You could probably find it anywhere. It was called Ad Infinitum. It looks neat. Actually, I like to see more creative ideas like that. And I cannot imagine ever being in combat or going and fighting like that. So maybe not for everybody if that kind of stuff triggers you, but it looks really fucking interesting.
The trailer looks insane.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how. Do you know who's making it? I can't tell if it's a...
that I don't know. We're so prepared. I'm going to go to the game's official website, and it doesn't really say. But it looks gnarly. It says Ad Infinitum, first-person survival horror game with a focus on atmosphere and story. Experience the Great War from the perspective of a German soldier, which is also interesting. In this surreal, war-torn nightmare, you must overcome pain, despair, and corruption while fighting for your life and sanity. Can you escape the horrors of war? ? Do you see who made it?
Yeah, it looks like it's a new studio called Hexate. H-E.
Are they a German-based studio?
A-T-E. Yes. And that honestly is very interesting. Now, they're not talking about World War II, which is more taboo in Germany.
Right.
But I would have to imagine that, World War I is a little bit kind of taboo as well. But I have no idea. But it looks really great.
Yeah.
I hope that it is good and not...
janky.
Not like really janky, yeah. But like the images that they've shown, I don't know how much of it is pre-rendered, how much of it is gameplay, because it's hard to tell. A lot of it looks like it's gameplay, but it's really hard to know. But if it's anything like what it looks like in the trailer, it could be pretty fucking cool.
What's cool, dude, I'll take any video game that puts me in the shoes of anybody from another country or another ethnicity. Dude, I'm so exhausted of just playing as like a white dude from the US in video games. Like these games, like I'm fine with it, but like, man, like these kind of things, play as a German soldier, like that's just it's just interesting. The other World War I game that we played, that was a side scroller. What was that one called? That was an awesome game.
Valiant Hearts.
Yeah, Valiant Hearts was really interesting. You know, I enjoyed playing the Mafia game when you were the black dude. That was interesting. You know, I don't know. I just really like video games to put me, remove me a little bit from my this. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of nice, get a little different perspective.
Yeah.
However you can get it, you know. So, although in Mass Effect I did pick a white male as my character, so I guess that was just the easy out for me in that game.
Well, I think that's a little bit different
because you're
building your
right?
own story versus them telling you a narrative about a white guy.
Correct. Yeah, I like to inject myself into role playing games and try to make the characters kind of like me. But anyhow, the next one is also really fucking interesting. Raven Switch. This is the studio that brings us Tale of the Cursed Gods, Jake, which you really liked. Curse of the Dead Gods. I said, what did I say? Tale of the Cursed Gods? Curse of the Dead Gods. You can play as kind of like fairy tale characters in this game. They have Beowulf, they have Snow White, they have the Pied Piper, and this game is interesting.
Red Hood, yeah.
Looking, and I didn't really know much about this, and I never did play Curse of the Dead Gods because we chose that other game. But I have it, and it makes me kind of want to check it out. But you really like the
It does look really interesting. Yeah. It's like an ARPG, like isometric kind of view, but it's I don't know. I'd have to see what their definition of roguelike is, because a lot of these roguelike games I'm kind of sick of. I just want my progress to be saved. That's literally all it boils down to. So
just don't waste my time.
And I don't even necessarily consider it wasting my time. It's just that like my time is precious, so I want to immediately feel like I'm making progress, even if I'm playing very sloppily.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to master every game just to make progress.
Yeah.
And a lot of these roguelikes force you to do that. It's like a combination of RNG and mastery that allows you to beat the game, not just me kind of brute forcing my way through it, which sometimes I just like to do because I want to just get through a game so I can play the next game or whatever. So, but that said, just thematically, it looks really cool.
Yeah. I agree. So PlayStation Blog, I like to go over there. It's PlayStation.blog, and they always have interesting little stories up there. Of course, they're promoting their own titles, but this is 7 indie games to look out for, and I'm just going to run through them real quick. They have links on the PlayStation Blog to all of these games, but some of these I didn't even know exist. Some I did, but some looked really, really interesting. The one that looked the coolest to me is the first one. It's called Sea of Stars. It looks like a through and through old school turn-based RPG game, like an old Final Fantasy game. Just on the face, where like you get hit and then the numbers show up above your head, like 15, 12, 20, whatever, how many hit points you lose, and it looks like it's turn-based. This game looks really cool. Another game called, I don't know how to pronounce, Shim, S-C-H-I-M, the I is lowercase. It's interesting. It's like one of those indie games where like in each level, the sun is at an angle and it's casting shadows, and you're like a little shadow. So the only way to navigate the level is to be within the shadows to travel so you got to platform on the shadows of the world, which is kind of interesting. Cult of the Lamb, which is a Devolver Digital game that I think is getting a lot of attention right now. I don't know much else about it. Signalis, which is a horror game, but it looks like it's a 32-bit game. Like the quality of the game, like the video, like the way it's presented is so freaking weird.
Yeah, it's like one of those games where they took like a well-rendered, like modern kind of design, and then they just like pixelated it, where it doesn't look like pixel art. It looks like a modern, animation, like a modern render that they just put like a pixelated filter on, if that makes any sense.
It's really weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks fucking cool.
Yeah, they say it's a horror game, but they're not going to get into the details of the game. They want you to play it to find out exactly what it's about. There was a game that was released a long time ago called The Tomorrow Children. It's getting a re-release called The Tomorrow Children Phoenix Edition. It's going to include some updates, some, breathe some new life into that game. And then there's a 2D platformer golf game called Cursed to Golf. And I played a game, I forget what it was called. It was a golf game. We talked about disco golf, or what was it called? Something, it wasn't Disco Elysium. It was something weird golf. I don't know what it was, but it was in a post-apocalyptic golf game where your character shuttles to the Earth because he's able to play golf on the Earth, but it's just a wasteland. Golf Club Wasteland. There you go. That was called. I had to say the word wasteland.
Yeah.
That game was awesome. So this is like that, but this is not as pretty, arguably. This game's more of like a 16-bit game or something. But it still looks interesting. And then the last game that was on the PlayStation blog they were featuring was called Inscription. It's a deck-building horror game. And just because of the way that UI and everything looked in this game, I thought it looked kind of cheap. Wasn't really interesting.
So I will say that I've heard that Inscription is actually really good. It's been out on PC for a while.
All right.
So it's just coming to PlayStation. I think that the Curse to Golf game looks entertaining. I don't know if it's something that I would pick up at full price, but it looks pretty cool. Tomorrow Children is an interesting story because I think the developer of that game, they feel like the game died at launch because the publisher required them to do all of this like microtransactions and all this crazy shared world shit and everything. And so they were able to wrestle the IP back from the publisher, and they're re-releasing it to make it a little bit more player friendly, I guess, a little bit less, transactiony and all that. Cult of the Lamb looks interesting. I don't know if it's something that I'm going to play, but Devolver Digital usually puts out pretty good games.
Yeah, for sure.
Shim, if that's how you even say it, is one of those games that, like, if it was on PS3, I probably would have played it, but now I'm just kind of, like, over these indie gimmick games.
Yeah.
I just, like, don't feel like playing them anymore. I'm not saying they're bad. It's just that I'm not necessarily all that enamored by this type of game anymore, because it reminds me a lot of, like, was it Outlander and shit like that, where you have to switch between the two colors to go to the different areas and all this stuff. But like you said, Sea of Stars looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
My understanding is that they're making like an old school 16-bit RPG, like a Final Fantasy VI or something like that, but they're like dialing back the complexity. So they're making it a little bit more approachable. Like, maybe think of a game like what Ubisoft did with, what the fuck? What's that RPG where like everybody talks in fucking poems and shit? Came out with Valiant Hearts like right around the same time.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I don't remember what it was called. I'm so bad at recalling names of games, man. There's just too many. Look at the PlayStation Store. Every deal they have, there's like 3,000 games on sale.
Child of Light.
Yeah, right.
So like Child of Light was Like they dialed back the complexity of the RPG, but you still had like the turn-based combat, you still had the narrative development and all of that. So I feel like Sea of Stars is gonna, I'm not saying it's the same thing, I think Sea of Stars is gonna be a little deeper than that, but it does seem like they're not gonna make you go in, they're not gonna have like all the crazy combat systems and stuff that like an old school Final Fantasy game would have or something like that. So I'm really excited for Sea of Stars.
Yeah.
Signalis I think looks fucking cool, but it's an adventure game, and those are really hit or miss with me. So I don't know if I'm going to be into doing all of the puzzly shit that's required for that type of event. Like if you watch the trailer, there's some stuff that looks like it might be a little point and click-esque.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if that's gonna jive with me. But the trailer, like the game looks really fucking cool. So
good deal, Jake.
That's all I have to say about
you have more
games.
news points on here that you added here that I didn't really talk about. So why don't you cover
Yes.
these?
So Ubisoft has been talking about this game Skull and Bones for like fucking ever. It's like the game that they built basically based on the ship combat from Assassin's Creed 3 and 4, where you know, in Assassin's Creed 3, I didn't play 3, but I played 4, and like in 4, you know, you can get a ship and you can go around and sail the seas and like fucking shoot cannons at other ships and do all that crazy crap. Well, they decided to make a game out of it, and they announced that it's releasing 11/8, which is the day before God of War, so I don't know who the fuck's going to play this game. But I watched the trailer.
Yeah.
The gameplay trailer that came up on PlayStation's YouTube or the blog or something like that. And to me, it looks like an early PS4 Assassin's Creed knockoff. Like, it literally looks like they just took the ship stuff out of Assassin's Creed 4, which was a PlayStation 4 launch game, and they just added some features to make it more in line to be a competitor with Sea of Thieves. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's going to be bad. It just, nothing about what I saw in the trailer or the 8-minute gameplay reveal interests me literally.
Dude, I'll agree.
Anyway.
And I'll tell you what was really frustrating about this was that the CG stuff that they showed before they showed the gameplay trailer looked awesome.
It looked really good.
And it's like, this game's going to be fucking dope. And then they showed the gameplay. So they went from like, I don't know, Pixar level quality CG stuff with like pirates and badass shit, where like they had this boat and like this guy's like walking through the streets, and it's like, it's all foggy and it's late, and then he looks in the window and like there's all these rich people dining and eating with candlelit dinners, and like he's like, fuck, that's never gonna be me, you know what I mean? And then he ends up at the dock and he just grabs a barrel and boards this pirate ship, and then it smash cut to him later, like on the seas, like braving the storm, and it looked fucking awesome. And then by the end, he's the captain of his own ship. And he's like giving commands, and people are respecting him and stuff. And then it cuts to gameplay, and it literally to me looked like an iOS game, like an iPhone game. And I'm like, fuck,
dude.
Like,
and
can't they make it look good?
Dude, if you even look at like when you're watching the gameplay, all the text and stuff that's in the trailer, it's all literally exactly the same as Assassin's Creed. Like, this game literally looks like they just like took Assassin's Creed and then just like cut out all the fun shit and just like made it so that you're like a ship captain. Like, the one thing that they didn't even kind of bring out in the gameplay stuff that they released is like, am I able to like do any combat outside of the ship? Right. Like, am I able to run around and shoot people like a pirate or whatever? Sorry, my cats are fighting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, I'll reserve my judgment, my complete judgment, until the game comes out, so I can see, you know, what people that play it are actually thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And it seems like this is maybe going to try to be a competitor to Skull and to Sea of Thieves on Xbox, but I don't know. Just what I saw just didn't look interesting to me at all.
Yeah.
Like, even the ship combat stuff, I'm like, okay, the ship the sailing and the ship combat in Assassin's Creed 4 was fucking cool.
Black Flag was amazing. It was so good.
But that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was so good.
It was 10 years ago. Like, now I just don't care anymore.
The sea shanties and all that stuff was so cool.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting.
They need to release...
Anyway.
Yeah, dude, they need to release a pirate game that's a fucking pirate game. Where, like a third person, you don't control a whole fucking ship. You're a fucking pirate. One person, you play through his story or her story, and you're just a fucking pirate. And you go on the...
Imagine Red Dead Redemption, but instead of cowboys, you're pirates.
That'd be
like,
so
that's what
awesome.
I fucking want.
That would be so good.
Like, you have, like, instead of having your crew with Dutch and the cowboys in the West, it's like you have your ship and you've got your captain. And they're
pirates.
Like, that could be so cool.
And you're going into these
But
towns.
they haven't done anything like that.
Dude.
I don't know. So anyway, moving on.
We need that.
Yeah, but that would be really neat. So the next news point I have up here is this is just kind of a minimal thing. There's a new PlayStation update that allows for automatic low latency mode. I don't know a ton about this, but it's based on if your TV, whether or not it supports it. And I think what this is like, you know how TVs have game mode?
Yeah.
Where it makes the refresh rate like super fast so you don't have input lag on your on your PlayStation. Like, what input lag is, if you don't know, is like, let's say I press up to move forward, how long it takes for the image to change on the screen. That's considered input lag. So a lot of modern TVs have what's called game mode, where normally if you're watching a movie, the input lag is super long because it doesn't matter. There's no interactivity. But if you put it in game mode, it does a bunch of shit in the background that makes the input lag really low. So there's no discernible difference between using the controller and seeing the reaction on the screen. Well, I guess like a lot of TVs have the ability for this to automatically be turned on through HDMI. So I think the way that this works now is that PlayStation, just like before your PlayStation, if you turn on your PlayStation, it can turn on your TV automatically. Like, I don't know if your TV does that when you turn on your PlayStation, but mine does. So it's like that, but instead it automatically turns on low latency mode on your television. And I'm pretty sure my Xbox has done this like forever, but I think that this is something that Sony's just adding in, which is cool. It's just another feature. It means you don't have to have like a dedicated HDMI channel and make sure that you go into the settings and turn on game mode and all that kind of stuff. But your TV has to support it for it to be able to automatically be switched on.
Right.
Next point here is that a while ago, there was a Steam database entry that was leaked that showed that Returnal looks like might be coming to PC, at least on Steam. And it looks like there some more stuff has been updated on that database entry with like achievements and things like that. So my guess is that, and I guess my guess is really kind of in quotes because the media is sort of just suggesting that an announcement for Returnal on PC is relatively imminent. Which kind of makes sense. Yeah. Returnal is like perfect for PC.
For sure.
So good for PC gamers because that game is fucking awesome. In my opinion, that game is awesome. So hopefully they get to play it soon. And Sony can get a little bit of extra money from that game. And then the last thing I have here is just that some games appear to have been leaked for PS Plus Extra and Premium tiers. So like the games that you can download and play just based on part of that subscription. And it's nothing crazy, but there is like, so this is part of, on July 19th, we're getting that, I believe it's July 19th, we're getting that cat game, Stray.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
On Extra. And I'm excited to play that. But it seems like as part of that, they're also going to add a bunch of Assassin's Creed games. So we were just talking about Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Unity, which I really liked even though it was super buggy, Assassin's Creed Rogue, which was the PS3 exclusive one that came out after PS4 launched. I don't know if you remember that. I think it takes place in like the Bayou or some shit.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry, which I believe was the Vita game or the PSP game. I don't remember.
Yeah, you're one of the handhelds.
Assassin's Creed Ezio Collection, which I think is like the first 3 games or something like that. and then Saints Row 4 Reelected. But the biggest release that I haven't mentioned yet is a Final Fantasy VII Remake Retro Intergrade.
Oh yeah,
with the intermission episode with the Yuffie DLC. So to me, this is awesome because I've been really wanting to go back and play that mission. That is the interlude between Final Fantasy VII Remake and the second release, which we've now learned is called Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I believe.
Right.
Where you uncover the Yuffie character and all that. So I am really interested in playing that. But
did you buy up?
Continue. I did not buy up. No. So this is kind of good for me because it'll allow me to play that without having to purchase it, because I will likely jump on to PS Plus Extra this month after I'm done with Mass Effect, because I really want to play Stray. I think that game looks really cool.
Yeah, maybe we can both get it and then talk about Stray on the show.
Yeah. So that might be the next game I play, honestly, given that it's, 7/10 today. So that's only 9 days away before that comes out. So I'm really interested in that. But anyway, that's all I got. There's a couple extra points I wanted to throw down just to
I like
inform the audience.
I like it, Jake. Thanks for that. New games coming out July 12th, Hellpoint on PS5, Time on Frog Island, PS5, PS4, The Quest for Excalibur on PS4, July 13th, Rayland, PS5, PS4, July 14th, Mothman 1966. That just sounds fucking
nice.
Gnarly. PS4, Super Rolla Champion, PS5, PS4, 200 Ways, PS5, PS4, July 15th, DC League of Super Pets, The Adventure of Crypto and Ace. Whew, about time. I've been looking forward to that one. I'm kidding. I have no clue what that is.
So, are you familiar? You're familiar with the lore of the Mothman?
Yeah.
So, did you know that where that took place is actually not that far from here?
Yeah, I heard that.
It's like a few hours down the road,
Yeah.
Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's fucking crazy. Like, the whole town is just into it. They've got like a Mothman statue downtown and like a Mothman museum and like a coffee shop that's Mothman themed.
Dude, I'm sure it brings a ton of economy to them.
I'm sure it does. I mean, I think it's awesome. I'll go. I actually, when I was there, I drove through that town on my way back from a work trip, and I stopped into the Mothman Museum and bought Sarah a Mothman coffee mug, which was pretty fun. So, anyway, I'm not saying that's in any way related to this game.
Well, I don't know if the listeners know, so I went to the Wikipedia page real quick. Just I'll give them a quick history, right, on what the Mothman is. The synopsis for Mothman. There was a movie called The Mothman Prophecies a while back. But for anyone who doesn't know, in West Virginia folklore, the Mothman is a humanoid creature reportedly seen in the Point Pleasant area, like Jake said, from the November 15th of 66 to December 15th, 67. The first newspaper report was published in the Point Pleasant Register, dated November 16th, 1966, titled Couple See Man-Sized Bird Creature Something. The national press soon picked up the reports and helped spread the story across the United States. And then it says the history was that two young couples from Point Pleasant, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Stephen Mary Mallett, told police they saw a large gray creature whose eyes glowed red when the car's headlights picked it up. They described it as a large flying man with 10-foot wings. Following their car while they were driving in an area outside of the town, known as the TNT area, the site of a former World War II munitions plant. And then apparently over the next few days, other people reported similar sightings. Volunteer fire people saw it. Large bird with red eyes. Mason County Sheriff George Johnson commented that he believed the sightings were due to an unusually large heron he termed a shite poke. Yeah, interesting, man.
Yeah, there's that munitions plant there, and there's like a bunch of bunkers where they used to store like all of this like lethal shit. So part of me is almost wondering if there was just like mass hysteria because, you know, some fucking chemicals got released on the town on accident or something, like something really crazy. I don't know. I'm not really into the, I mean, I find the cryptozoology stuff like really fun. Like I think it's enjoyable, and I'm all into like going to the town and like seeing all the stuff. But like, come on, man. Fucking Mothman.
I love the idea of it. I love the idea.
Yeah, I wish it was real. That would be awesome if like a fucking Mothman was just like stealing people's babies.
It's really just like a gargoyle or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Man, that shit like that has to exist. You know, we should just start a whole new podcast where we talk about, I'm sure there's a lot of them, different folklore things. Like Aaron Mahnke has Lore, which is a fantastic podcast. He also has a podcast called The Cabinet of Curiosities, and it's all these real stories based in like history, but like just fascinating, interesting tales of like creepy things and interesting things. So he's got that covered, and no one can do it better than him. But I would love to sit and just have conversations about that shit because it really interests me, and I like to know about it too.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So if you're interested, who knows if Mothman 1966 is about that? I would imagine. I kind of want to look up the game now. Did you look into this game at all?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Steam page for it, and it looks like it may or may not be based on
is the first in
the events.
Interactive Adventures by Pixel Pulps, created by novelist Nico, I can't say his last, Nico Sarantaris, and artist Fernando Martinez Rupel. Fusion exception, writing and stunning illustration inspired by mid-20th century pulp fiction, 80s home computer graphics. Actually seems pretty cool. I don't know how the game plays or anything, but Mothman 1966, dude. That's just a cool name. Fuck it.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, that's all I got for the show. Jake, do you guys think any parting words for the listeners?
Nope. I am ready to roll.
Yeah, me too. I'm tired, man. Hope you guys had a nice weekend, and I hope you have a beautiful week this week. Thanks for tuning in to episode 200, guys, and 31 of PS This Is Awesome. Thanks for being a part of the show. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next week, if plans don't get in the way. So, like Lake, Lawn Mowing Simulator, and Luto, P.S. This is awesome.
Yes, this is awesome.
That's our NPR ending. All right.
Yeah.